Tell me your name again.
Hi, my name's Tom.
Tom, nice to meet you. All right, tell us a little bit about the people who inhabited this land.
Well, the village here was called Talapop.
Okay.
And located somewhere around the intersection of Mulholland Highway and Las Virgenes Canyon Road. Mm-hmm. And because this is such a bountiful, affluent area as far as wildlife and edible plants, this is one of the oldest settlements in the United States. So somewhere between 8,500 and 10,000 years, people have lived here continuously. Mm-hmm. So it's a very special area.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and because they had so much food source, they were also able to develop a lot of cultural activities, basket weaving and a lot of games, and as much as I know about the Native American life here was a very kind of advanced culture.
Absolutely, I fully agree on that. What would be the main source of food for the Native people at this land?
Acorns, which were very bountiful, but there was also a lot of deer here and rabbits. Mm-hmm. Wood rats, I understand, were one of the favorite meat sources, and they would grind up their animals and put them in with the acorn mush. But then there's also wild cherries and walnuts, wild currants, toyon berries, so a lot of different berries. And then fish, of course, in the streams, and we have year-round streams in this creek. Mm-hmm. There was also trade routes to the ocean, so there was also a lot of abalone and clam shells found in sites here, and bigger fish from the ocean.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, it was very, this was like a prime real estate.
Right. Are there any caves around here where the native display any of their art?
There are petroglyphs in the park, though they're not publicized because there's no resources to protect them. So the state archaeologists keep it kind of hidden. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, and there's some, I forget the Indian name, but there's mortar and pestles around the park.
Right.
By creeks where there's oak trees.
Right.
These are the more modern, portable ones.
Metate.
Metate, thank you.
Yes. Oh, wow. Yeah.
I know where there's one up by a creek, kind of hidden under all the oak trees. And it's just sitting there, just this great big boulder. It's got the hole grind in it, and there's still a rock there, and it's probably been there for thousands of years. Wow. And because nobody knows where it is, except for maybe a few rangers and docents, it's still there. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What do you do here, Tom? Are you in charge of the visitor center?
No, I'm just one of the volunteers at the park.
Oh, great.
We're called docents. The rangers, unfortunately, have to spend most of their time doing law enforcement and rescues, even though their main job is to teach and to interpret the park. Okay. So we're volunteers who just help the rangers with the interpretation of the park. Yeah.
What happened to the people who inhabited this land?
They're called the missionaries. When the Spaniards came, I shouldn't be laughing, I'm sorry, but when the Spaniards came up from Mexico, they basically took all the indigenous people and pulled them into the missionaries. And that happened here in the mid-1800s. Took them all to San Fernando and tried to teach them their ways. And then in the late 1800s, early 1900s, some of the families came back to this area and worked on the farms in this area. But now I don't think there's any Indians left in this whole area.
Well, you have the Gabrielino, which are now in Southern California, closer to San Diego. The reservations there. I believe that some of them belong to the Tonga and Chumash nations.
Yeah, and a lot also moved up to Santa Barbara.
Right.
So we've had some visitors come when we're being trained as docents, and they talk to us about the culture and about the plants and the way of life, and it's always a treat.
Great.
Yeah. So it feels like a real privilege to be able to work in this park. We do it because we love it here. I'm hiking here 2 or 3 times a week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Have you been here before?
Yes, this is a good time around the year to, anytime actually. It's nice to come to the Malibu Creek Park.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I probably am here every week at least, several times a week.
Okay.
And the last year, what I've been particularly doing is hiking using my nose. So now I feel like I can be anywhere in the park and tell where I am by my nose.
I see.
Yeah, you know, when you go out with a dog, they smell everything. So I started doing the same thing, and it's a whole new experience in the park.
Right. Thank you very much, Tom.
Nice meeting you, Docent.
Likewise. Likewise.
Where do
Thank
you
you.
live?